Have you ever wondered how wild chicks survive in the rain? This seemingly simple question opens up a world of intrigue and complexity. It's a tale of survival, resilience and adaptation in the face of natural adversity. Wild chicks, small and vulnerable, face a myriad of challenges in their early days, and one of the most significant is the rain. Picture a rainy day. The air is cold, and droplets of water are falling relentlessly. Now, imagine being a tiny chick, not yet fully grown, having to face this harsh reality. These little creatures are still in the process of developing their bodies, which makes them particularly susceptible to the cold. Their fluffy down, while adorable to us, is not yet capable of providing the insulation they need. Unlike the mature feathers of adult birds, which are designed to resist water and keep the bird warm, the chick's feathers are not yet waterproof. This means that when it rains, they can become very cold, very quickly. Cold temperatures are not just uncomfortable for these chicks, they can be life-threatening. The chicks' small bodies don't generate a lot of heat, and without the insulation provided by waterproof feathers, they can lose body heat rapidly. In fact, hypothermia is a real risk for these tiny birds when it rains. Moreover, the rain also limits their access to food. The insects and seeds that make up the bulk of their diet become harder to find, and the chicks must expend valuable energy and body heat in their search for sustenance. This paints a bleak picture, doesn't it? But don't despair. These chicks are not helpless victims of the weather. They have their ways of dealing with the rain, and some of these strategies are quite ingenious. So let's delve deeper into their world. It's clear that the rain poses quite a challenge for these little creatures. But how exactly does it affect them? Stay tuned to discover the remarkable resilience of wild chicks in the face of a rainy dilemma. So, what happens to wild chicks when it starts raining? Well, let's paint a picture. A gentle drizzle begins, turning into a steady downpour. The wild chicks, with their soft, downy feathers, start to feel the chill. Rainwater, with its knack for sapping warmth, can lower a chick's body temperature significantly. But why does this happen? You see, a chick's thin layer of downy feathers, while fluffy and adorable, isn't exactly waterproof. When it rains, these feathers can become wet and heavy, losing their insulating capacity. The feathers that once trapped warm air close to the chick's body now trap cold water instead. This leads to a decrease in the chick's body temperature, making them feel cold. But the effects of rain on wild chicks don't stop there. Once their body temperature drops, their metabolic processes begin to slow down. The chicks become less active, their chirps become quieter, and their movements slower. This lack of activity is a direct result of their bodies trying to conserve energy to fight off the cold. And the woes of these little creatures don't end here. Being less active makes them more susceptible to predators. A slow-moving chick is an easy target for a prowling fox or a swooping hawk. The rain, in essence, not only makes them cold, but also puts them at greater risk. It's a grim situation, isn't it? But remember, nature is not without its balance. While the rain brings a host of challenges for these wild chicks, it also brings an abundance of food in the form of insects and worms. This feast of sorts can help them regain energy and warmth, provided they can brave the cold long enough to find it. Being cold and wet can indeed be a grim situation for these chicks, but how do they cope with it? And that, dear listeners, is a story for another scene. So, how do wild chicks handle these cold, wet circumstances? Life in the wild can be challenging, especially when you're a small, vulnerable chick. Rain is one of those challenges that these little creatures must deal with. The cold, wet conditions can be harsh, but these chicks have developed some remarkable strategies to survive. One of the most common tactics is huddling together. The collective body heat of a group of chicks can help keep each individual warm. It's a simple act of unity where the sum is greater than its parts, a testament to their instinctive understanding of survival. Another warm refuge for these chicks is under their mother's wings. These adult birds act as living umbrellas, shielding their offspring from the elements. The chicks snuggle close, absorbing the warmth from their mother's body. This is more than just a survival technique. It's a bond, a connection between a mother and her offspring that transcends the harsh realities of the wild. But what about when a mother bird is not around? Well, these resourceful chicks have a solution for that too. They seek shelter under foliage, hiding beneath leaves and branches that provide a natural canopy against the rain. This tactic not only keeps them dry, but also camouflages them from potential predators. Interestingly, some chicks have a faster growth rate, a strategy that equips them with their waterproof feathers sooner. These feathers repel water, preventing the chicks from getting soaked and cold. It's almost as if these chicks are born with their own little raincoats, ready to face the world and its unpredictable weather. These survival tactics aren't just about staying warm and dry. They're about resilience, about facing adversity head-on. They're about the instinctive drive to survive, to thrive, no matter the circumstances. It's amazing how these little creatures adapt to survive in adverse conditions, isn't it? Indeed, the survival tactics of wild chicks in rain are a testament to the incredible adaptability and resilience of life in the wild. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. One of the fascinating yet heartbreaking realities of nature is the vulnerability of wild chicks when it rains. These tiny, feathery bundles of joy, which bring so much life to the wilderness, face an uphill battle when the weather takes a turn for the worse. Our exploration began with the dilemma that these chicks face when the skies open up. The rain, often viewed as a symbol of life and renewal, presents a real challenge for them. Their fluffy down is not fully waterproof, making them susceptible to the cold, wet weather. And as we all know, staying warm and dry is crucial for their survival. The effects of the cold on these chicks are not to be underestimated. As the rain soaks their down, it becomes increasingly difficult for them to maintain their body temperature. The cold can lead to hypothermia, a serious condition that can be fatal if not promptly addressed. But nature, in all its harshness, also equips these wild chicks with survival tactics. They huddle together, using their collective body heat to stave off the cold. Some chicks have even been observed burrowing into the ground or seeking shelter under foliage to stay dry. These incredible survival instincts are a testament to the resilience of nature and its inhabitants. So what does our journey into the world of wild chicks and rainy weather teach us? It's a poignant reminder of the trials and tribulations faced by the wildlife around us, often unseen or overlooked. It's a call to appreciate the resilience and adaptability of these tiny creatures, and to respect the forces of nature that shape their existence. Understanding these challenges gives us a deeper appreciation for the resilience of these tiny creatures and the wonders of nature as a whole.